Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Aksana, and in this video I will talk about Karmic Tail 1558. So this is the Karmic Tail that if you calculate your matrix, you will find it at the very bottom of the matrix. However, before I begin, I would like to mention a few general things about karma, about Karmic Tail. As looking through the comments, I've got an impression that some of you may have a misunderstanding of all of these things. So what is karma? The word karma means action. So those are all actions that we've done, including our thoughts, our inner states, our emotions, our intentions. Everybody has negative karma and positive karma. It all depends on what kind of actions you've been doing. So some actions will add to negative karma, some actions will add to positive one. And Karmic Tail shows what mistakes you've been doing previously and what your soul has transferred to this life. So Karmic Tail consists of 3 energies, and I will go over all of them, all 3 of them. I will mention main characteristics, main qualities of these energies. So your task is to bring all of these energies back to balance. That means to perform only positive qualities of that energy and avoid performing negative ones. So karma does not mean punishment. Nobody hates anyone. Nobody is trying to punish anyone, right? So this is just our actions. And then I'll talk about common scenarios, negative scenarios that may happen if this Karmic Tail is still in disbalance, recommendations how to bring them back to balance, and what happens if you open up the potential of this Karmic Tail. Basically, what happens if you bring it back to balance and you keep it this way. The fact that you have this Karmic Tail or any other Karmic Tail doesn't make you worse or better than other people, right? So even if you take 2 people with the same Karmic Tail, it doesn't mean that they've done exactly the same mistakes. Because if you can, you will see that every energy has 2 different extremes. And one person may have gone into one extreme and another one went to another extreme. And also, all of these actions, they have different weight. So some Karmic Tails may have lots of weight of negative karma, and the person with the same Karmic Tail may have a lighter, basically lighter negative karma. I hope this is, I explained it clearly, and you've got a better idea of what it is. Okay, so with this particular Karmic Tail 1558, there is always 7th energy in the center of the matrix. I took the matrix you see on the screen. I just took random date with this Karmic Tail, so you will have all other numbers will be different, most likely, but you will, with this Karmic Tail, there's always 7th energy in the center. And if you know a little bit about these energies, you may see that all of them are pretty strong. 7, 15th, 5, and 8th, they're all very strong energy. What does it mean? That means if you direct this that strength of these energies into a positive direction or a negative one, the return will be the same. It will be strong return, it will be either positive or negative. I think it's also important to understand. And with 7th energy, you've got leadership skills. If you would like to achieve a goal, you can be very focused, very determined on achieving that goal. So you can motivate other people on achieving the goal, and you're a really good leader, especially when you have a team. All right, so let's go over the 8th energy. And 8th energy, because it's located at the very bottom, this is the main energy in this Karmic Tail. So this energy, it's about justice. It's called justice, balance, and responsibility. So when eighth energy is balanced, those people are very responsible, they're reliable, straightforward, they're objective, friendly, and they have calm personality. They have great analytical skills, and they live by the principle what goes around comes around. So there is a good understanding of the law of karma, even though they may not operate with this wording, but they understand, and they understand it through life. The life gives them those lessons. So when eighth energy is balanced, and let's say somebody does something harmful to that person, that the person who did that negative actions will get a return, will get kind of like a punishment, but it's not a punishment. This is just the law of karma in its action. But return will come pretty quickly. And same with eighth energy being in disbalanced. When the person has eighth energy on the major positions and they do something wrong, they get a return pretty quickly. It doesn't return in years. Sometimes it may return the same day. So, and this is how they learn, that if there is always a reason and always consequences. Okay, so and because they understand that, they are being calm when things happen. They understand that there was a reason for it, and they take responsibility for their lives. They don't blame others of what happens in their life. They're being honest, and they keep promises even when it's not in their interest. They appreciate balance in life. They appreciate harmony, both in inner and outer world. As I mentioned before, they take responsibility for their life. They're good citizens who obeys the laws. So this is, in short, in few words, how the balanced eighth energy looks like. When it's disbalanced, and what will bring eighth energy down is when the person lives with the strong belief that life is unfair. And there is tendency to fight for justice. And the truth is, the more they fight for it, the more they believe in that unfairness of the world, of the life, the more unfair situation they attract in the life. The disbalance may go into such extreme as being aggressive, quick-tempered, sharp. They're sharp, they're very smart, they have analytical skills, but they're stubborn. They live with the position that they're always right. They may be pushy. They don't approve any other opinion because they live kind of by a position that there is my opinion and wrong opinion. And fifth energy, by the way, has very similar a negative quality as well, not accepting other opinions. So coming back with eighth energy, they're blaming their troubles on everyone around them, not taking responsibility, being touchy. There are very often lots of complaints. They also act as if others owe them something. So there is disbalance of that give-receive. They're not willing to learn life lessons and go into personal development, learn from those lessons. It's difficult for them to maintain balance in internal and external life. There's lack of flexibility. Usually there are lots of emotions, lots of complaints, different, submitting different claims, fighting for fairness, and very often they don't realize how much they already have got, but they just want to get more, especially with the combination 15 and 8. And I will mention that in the scenario when I'll talk about scenarios, but there may be even tendency to go into criminal things, because they want a lot and they don't take responsibility. They don't see if they do something not good, that something not good will happen in return. So they may be even breaking the laws, Not all of them, but it may go into that extreme. Not keeping promises. So if you would like to bring it back to balance, you need to remember that it's important to keep promises. So that means that sometimes you have to think twice to promise something. You have to be sure that you can deliver it. So, and there is lack of receive and give balance. One of the examples could be not paying taxes, or let's say getting something for free and not willing to pay for it, and things like that. And with eighth energy, it's that karmic law, the understanding of that law is very important. So another, like, you can imagine the river, it flows. There is always a beginning, the start of the river, and it flows somewhere. So you can imagine all of your life, if all of the events in your life, everything that happens in your life, it's kind of like a river. It has its beginning and it's flowing somewhere. So there will be consequences, there will be results. All right, let's move to 15th energy. This energy is located also located in the karmic tail and on the relationship line. So this is energy of temptations, pleasures, and unconditional love. Unconditional love, of course, when this energy is balanced and on a very good high level. So when this energy is balanced, those people have a strong moral principles. They are developing spiritually. They have that unconditional love and acceptance. Those are people with big heart who, even though they see all imperfections in people, they continue to respect and love them. They are able to forgive and give the second chance to those people, and thus they're given hope for self-transformation and improvement. 15th energy does trigger transformation in people, and how it does, when person with the strong balanced 15th energy, just by their presence, they may trigger that the dark side of other people are coming to the surface. So it becomes visible. So you can imagine it like being a flashlight, and you go to the basement, and if we talk about basement as our everyone's dark side, and they just point the flashlight to the corners where there are ugly things happening. So this is how it's triggers that dark side going on the surface, and then the person sees their dark side, and 15th energy with their acceptance, unconditional love, and of course not love towards the ego of the other person, but it's love towards their divine spark, because everyone has something that we admire, something that is so good. And thus 15th energy gives that ability to be like a scanner or an x-ray. The person sees all weaknesses and all strong side of the person. So, and thus they give them the second chance, because they know that this person they're able to do better. So let's give them the second chance to do it. And so they trigger that transformation, and like I said, they have that ability to, those psychological skills, ability to see through person masks, to sense true motives, true intentions. Overall, they're very merry and adventurous nature, charming and charismatic. They can easily get what they want because they understand human psychology well. They're very often you find that energy in those people who are considered influencers, and other people tend to follow them because of those charismatic qualities. And they have materialization skills, attracting desired what they desire, their wishes. However, when 15th energy is disbalanced, there is a strong ego. Any disbalanced energy means egoistic qualities, It's just that egoistic qualities may have a different, may take a different form. So in case of 15th energy, it's being manipulative, pushy, aggressive, using charisma with egoistic intentions, lots of criticism, hurting and dominating others, seeing only dark side in people. There could be unlawful activities, greed, hunger for power, different addictions, lack of moral principles, aggression towards people and to the world, disrespect and humiliation. Or an opposite extreme could be that the person doesn't accept his or her charisma, attraction, that power of attracting others, and they may suppress even that sexual energy in themselves. Okay, so let's move towards the 5th energy. It's an energy of learning and teaching, of order, hierarchy, and family. When 5th energy is balanced, the person has qualities like being wise, enthusiastic, they have optimistic nature, they're open to new information and eager to learn, they're learning all their life, and they're not only learning, but then they becoming teachers themselves when they're sharing information. And becoming teachers, I don't mean having an occupation or having that profession. I mean that they just know a lot and they like to share that information. They like to structure everything, including information, their knowledge, and they like to put things in order. So usually when you go to the house of the person with balanced 5th energy, everything has its own place. It's all perfectly organized and neat. Like I mentioned before, they're excellent teachers because they're able to analyze lots of information and they're able to clearly explain complex things in simple terms. They're good leaders, good managers, and excellent speakers. They have that very open nature. They respect family values, traditions, they respect hierarchy, and they follow the laws. When 5th energy is disbalanced, there could be two extremes. Either extremely neat person when there is a deep cleaning almost every day, when a person is pushing others to keep everything in order instead of doing it by themselves. Or it could be an opposite extreme when there is total disorder, chaos, mess. There could be disrespect and unacceptance of any authority and rules. So they may have that rebellion qualities in them, rejection of hierarchy, unwillingness to learn also could happen with disbalanced 5th energy. Unwillingness to accept new information or knowledge or other opinions. They also may have that position that I'm right and there is only my opinion or the wrong opinion. Or they could be an opposite extreme when they're constantly learning and they're not confident in their knowledge. They're always thinking that I don't know enough in order to share information with others, to become a teacher or a speaker. The reason why they don't want to share the knowledge is there is a fear of competition, lack of confidence in their expertise as well, and troubles starting family, divorces, they don't have respect for family traditions, and so on. So now let's talk about the possible negative scenarios. And this is a combination of 3 energies. So if you combine all 3, 15, 5, and 8, being disbalanced, often what happens is that the person comes to the family where there are stormy relationships taking place, when emotional arguing is the normal way of communicating. Because 8th energy, when it's balanced, it's about harmony, calm, peace. When it's disbalanced, there could be lots of emotions, like dramatic emotions. And so there could be manipulations, because that's 15th energy, addictions, betrayals. And as a child, the person could see how the, let's say, the father or mother offended each other, or father offended mother, or vice versa. And by looking at this, by observing all of that behavior, they may form an idea that life is unfair, and sometimes they may repeat the same pattern while when they grow up and build their own relationships. So since each energy has its negative qualities in two different extremes, if you combine those three energies, there could be different scenarios. So with this karmic tail, there are three major directions what may take place in life. But again, not everybody will have these scenarios. If person came with a very light karmic tail, they may even not notice something like that, or they may manage to bring these energies back to balance pretty quickly. But again, very often one of these three scenarios taking place in a life. First of them would be being a prisoner of own instincts and pleasures, adrenaline addiction. And this happens when the person, it's him or herself, becoming the one who harms the partner. So there is lots of drama in family and in their relationships. And in this case, calm, harmonious relationships and people with those qualities seem too boring. The person, even if they have a family and everything goes well, once there is a chance to get more intense emotions, they take that chance. 15 energy gives that tendency to an 8th as well to create their own rules. And so they live by their own rules, allowing unethical or even illegal behavior. And there is lack of responsibility, strong desires, a need for emotional doping. And they consider that all of this are pretty good reasons, unresponsible choices and actions. And what usually happens very often, there are either having addictions, or there is cheating, betrayals, so there are lots of drama. And that dramatic arguing, fighting, it all draws person's emotions, person's energy. And so they then they feel needed to recharge. And how they recharge, they create again drama, they want more fights, more dramatic emotions. The second scenario is when I call it a judgmental sufferer. So when the owner of 1558, they put themselves in the position that they're very honest, they're decent human, they're trying to act as they're perfect. And they position themselves as perfect, and they position themselves of those who knows how the right way of living. And they want to create ideal family. It could be an obsession with them, like having an ideal family. However, in reality, what happens is that they choose to build relationship with someone who can act dishonestly. As I mentioned before, 15th energy gives that ability to see through personal masks. Even if 15th energy is disbalanced, they still have that ability to see through, to see those intentions. And even though the person understands that the partner is able to do something unethical, to be dishonest, they still decide to build a relationship with that person. And when unethical behavior takes place, the owner of this karmic tail have a thought that I knew that he or she is going to do that. And that feeling that I'm better than you, that feeling that yes, I'm a victim, but I am right, I'm on the right side, those are all are hidden benefits of this scenario. And sometimes the owner of this karmic tail may even provoke their partner to act unethically. And 15 energy does give that ability to provoke, to say something what shouldn't be said in this moment, for example, right? So they may add to the fire, they may add fuel to the fire. With this negative scenario, and I will mention something like that later on when I go to recommendations, and please listen to the end, because I don't want you to stop on this scenarios thinking that there is no way out. Yes, there is way out. So with this particular scenario, what's important to understand is that the partner, our partner, or actually every people in our lives, there are teachers. If we need to learn the lesson, that's who we attract to our life, and those people will give us that lesson. So the partner mirrors our qualities. Every living thing vibrates, and every person has vibes, right? So if you happen to attract someone, and this doesn't have to be your partner, it could be your children as well, that start acting very dramatic or very unethical, or having addictions, let's say. It's important to understand that nothing happens just by accident. So if we attracted those people in our lives, that means that we need to go through those lessons. And if we position ourselves as we're perfect, and no one is perfect, we need to understand that. Those people may mirror your dark sides that you suppress, that you don't admit, you don't want to accept it. And the third scenario is when the person once had very strong destructive emotions, and they decide to put those emotions under control. They suppress their emotions. And the owner of this karmic tail lives life like a robot, without any emotions, just doing what they need to do. But what happens if the emotions are still there, they're just being suppressed, and that person is like a boiling pot with all those intense emotions keeping inside. And what happens is that once in a while they have lots of destructions, emotions, and uncontrolled behavior takes place in their life. And they live with the idea that I need to isolate myself from people because there is a disbelief in the sincerity of others. So they're not believing that other people may have good intentions. And again, it comes from that personal dark side that the person doesn't want to admit, doesn't want to take a look at it, doesn't want to transform it into something better. They suppress it, and they think and judge others by their inner dark qualities. So let's move towards the recommendations for this karmic tail. And again, it's very important to understand that every karmic tail has its potential, and it's a good side of this combination. So with this combination in particular, the understanding the law of karma is very important. It's important to accept and analyze your situation and being honest to yourself. Look if there are any hidden benefits that you're taking. So let's say when you don't want to move forward in your life because you're saying, well, I have an addict in my family, there is no way I can. So you put a blame on those people rather than analyzing the situation and seeking the exit out of it. So also you need to avoid wasting time and energy on changing the partner, but rather focus on your own development. And when you come to that balanced 8th energy, first of all, when there is understanding that everything in life is fair, that everything we have in our life is the result of our previous actions, when there is forgiveness and acceptance, the partner or another family member can miraculously change. So it's important to start with yourself, to accept the situation you're in right now, if you're not happy with it, to analyze, and it's important to define moral principles, and that will help you to bring 15th energy to balance, and look at your priorities in life, and invest in your spiritual and personal growth. Your resistance to temptations with 15th energy in Karmic Tail, your resistance to temptations, addictions will be tested throughout your life. So if you happen to be in relationships, it's important to choose loyalty, to develop your inner core, your will. So next time when there is a temptation on the horizon, you will know that pleasures are not on your top priorities. And you can withstand those tests, withstand those temptations. And not only temptations not only as a third person, third party, but also addictions and things like that. Also, another recommendation would be avoid judging others on their unethical actions, because you need to understand that every person can change at any moment. Sometimes life events take place that the person comes out as with totally different personality. But if we're judging the person, we kind of don't give the second chance. Learn to accept other opinions, other points of view. We all have different opinions. We all live on a different level of our development. And if you continue to see in people their dark side only, you will keep attracting those who are dishonest. And remember that no one is perfect, including me, including you, including everybody. So you need to take a look at your dark side. Everybody has dark side. You know that there is a story, you probably heard about it, as two wolves. On one is light behind our right shoulder, and one is dark behind our left shoulder. And so basically one is good, one is evil. And who wins? Wins the one who you feed more often. And how do you feed those wolves? With your intentions, with your thoughts, with your actions. It's important to admit your dark side, but don't let it to take control over. So basically, don't feed that dark wolf too often. And know that suppressing your emotions will not help. You need to take your emotions as indication of your inner state. So if any destructive emotion comes up, it's important for you to analyze what is the reason for that emotion, where does it come from. And usually you will get to the thought that triggered that emotion, and you need to work on that thought, because this is the reason why this emotion happens. And once you think about that, you basically will bring attention to that particular thought. You'll bring the light of your consciousness, and that's how you become more and more conscious in your life, and that's how you will heal those destructive emotions, and instead of suppressing them. And another recommendation, if you happen to live in the family where lots of drama takes place in your parents' relationships, try to stay neutral and try to avoid taking a side. So these are basic recommendations with this Karmic Tail. Next, I'll talk about its potential. And another recommendation that I would like to add is about your central seventh energy, because it's seventh is about leadership skills, about being ambitious. So it's important for you to find an outlet for that energy. So it could be sport. It's very good if you build your career or have your own business. So you have that outlet. And remember with seventh energy to achieve your goals peacefully. That's one of the most important things to remember with seventh energy. And so once all of these three energies are balanced, there is a potential to be a calm, responsible person who has strong will and unconditional love towards people, who can build harmonious relationships, create a strong family, and help others to do the same. So with this potential, the person may be very successful in professions like psychologist, family counselor, judge, lawyer, and all professions that require strong analytical and diagnostic skills. I hope you liked this video. I hope it was very helpful and informative. Please share your stories, your comments, your feedback, and I wish you the best of luck. And I wish you to open up potential of this karmic tail. These are strong, very good energies to have when they're balanced. And please subscribe to my channel if you'd like to support it. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.